What up, YouTube? J-Dub here, and I know I apologize. It has been a while since I posted a video, but I am happy to say we are finally going to do the speaker lid speaker install on the Indian Challenger. So, took a little while to get the lids back from paint. A lot's been going on. I've been very, very busy, so unfortunately, we're just now getting to it. So, but we're going to go through this whole thing, and it's going to be... I mean, it's a job. It's not going to take all day, I don't think, but it's definitely a job. There's a lot that goes into it. Some of the things I've already kind of done on this in the process when I did the reassembly, which you guys can watch those videos back in my library. I mean, there's plenty of those. And yeah, so let's get into it. Okay, so basically we're going to replace these saddlebag lids with the new ones, which I have right over here. To take the speakers. So I have speakers in the lids. Some people don't like this mod because it eats up a little bit of your space inside, because this right here is basically going to be eaten up by speaker. But in my estimation, it's not going to be too big of a deal. Okay, so but we've got to take the lids off. We got to take the lids off and replace them, and so it's not going to be quite as in-depth as when I took the whole bag apart. And I actually have some video that I'm gonna weave in here with, because you're gonna have to take this apart and put in the new harness and all that. So, but I already have video of that when I did the reassembly. So let's get into it. Quick note before you get started here: you have to have the upgraded Powerband speakers up in the fairing before you even start doing this. It won't accept it without the Powerband audio up front. So you got some money in the speakers up front before you can even do this mod. I don't think I really agree with that. I think that they could have like a tier system, like, oh yeah, you want saddlebag lids, speakers, but you don't necessarily have to have the Powerband. Now, I have heard the new 24s that have the Powerband speakers in the fairing and on the lids already, and they sound pretty darn good. So I'm happy to do this, but it's not a cheap mod, guys. I mean, this if you're thinking about doing this and you're going to buy a brand new one, a 2024, I absolutely recommend just going and getting the whatever the bike it is you want with already has the Powerband audio upgrade. I think it'll be cheaper in the long run, just having it already on the bike, opposed to doing this afterward. I got extremely lucky and was able to find a lot of this stuff used online, and because I was painting the lids anyway for the custom paint on my bike, it didn't really matter if they were used or not. It didn't matter what color they were. But I'm just saying, you're gonna have probably $3-4 grand just in doing this mod, because including the speakers up front and whatnot. So just an FYI note. So let's figure out what we got here. All right, so we have the actual speakers. These look pretty good. When you buy the speaker kit itself, it comes with the new, I don't think amplifier is technically the right term, because it's amplified inside the speakers. This is more or less like a channel splitter or something, but you have to have this in order to power the rear speakers. Now that goes under the fairing. I have already installed this under the fairing, so I might have to go back and show you guys that real quick, that clip that I made when I'm reassembling the bike, because I wanted to be pretty much pre-wired. I didn't want to have to take that back off. And I will link my fairing removal video and everything so you guys can see how to do that. But like I said, this should be... The speakers look really nice. So these are brand new, right from Indian. Not cheap, okay? You will also need to get the grills. These are separate from the lids. You got to buy the lids, but you got to buy these too. This kit for all this is like $350 for these grills. Ridiculous, man. Cray. But you're gonna have to have those. You'll also need the wiring harness. Now there are 3 wiring harnesses, or 3 pigtail harnesses that come with the kit. This is the splitter that we got to remove the seat and put power to each side of the speaker. But there's also an additional wiring, and that is what I was talking about inside the bag, inside the bag. that goes underneath here. You have to have a whole new harness that gives you this extra tail here to power the speakers. So, all right. Okay, guys, real quick. So I already did this during reassembly. If you want to watch that video, you can. You have to remove the front fairing because you have to be able to plug the VCM that comes with the speakers for the saddlebags underneath here. It is really not that hard. I should have shown it when I did the reassembly, and I don't think I did. But basically, there's just a slot right there. There's a dummy plug behind it, and you just basically slide that in, plug it in, put the little screw that comes with it in there to secure it in place, and that's it. The whole bike, if it's, now I don't know about 2020s and 2021s and 2022s, but I know on the 2023 and the 2024, and I'm going to assume the rest of them are the same, this bike is already pre-wired for the, saddlebag lids, okay? You just a bunch of dummy plugs that you have to unplug and put the new harnesses in. The other thing is, real quick, when you put these new speakers in, saddlebag or Powerband, if you want the bass boost and you have a 2023 or older, you have to go to the dealer and actually have them turn it on. It's like I think it's like a half hour of labor is what I got charged for it. I was able to work a couple of different flashes into one, so we came up with a deal. But I'm just saying, in order to get the bass boost, it's a 23 or older, you have to go to the dealer and have them flash it. And whether you have saddlebag speakers or not, it will automatically recognize the system. So that's the first thing. You're going to have to remove the fairing, which, like I said, is one, two, three bolts in the headlight, taking the bezel out. Removing the speaker grills, which if you're doing these speakers, you're going to have to do it anyway. Bolt up there, bolt down here on both sides, and then there's 2 bolts underneath here. Pull it off. Like I said, put the VCM in, plug it in, screw it down, and bam, replace the front fairing, and you're done. Okay, now we'll move on to the next part. I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove these side covers here. That way we can get access to the bolts for the seat, because we got to remove the seat. Both sides. Okay, there we go. We got access there. Okay, and then there's just a 6mm Allen to take the seat off. You guys have seen this a dozen times here. Both sides. Okay, get that out of the way. And then the seat, basically, push back, lift up. Easy peasy. That gives us access underneath to run the wiring. Okay, now that we have access under the seat, what are we looking for? I believe it's this plug right here. As you can see, it's got a dummy. It's got a dummy plug attached to it. Doesn't do anything. And that's where the new harness will plug into. That'll split each side. Okay, so we're gonna redo the wiring now. I'm doing this while I'm doing the reassembly because I'm pretty much pre-wiring it for the speaker bag lid install. So we're gonna, you guys are actually gonna see this on that install video, which you're watching now. So, but I'm doing it at the time of assembly. The thing is, let me show you here. Okay, so you're going to have a couple of bolts that you have to remove in order to get this holder out of here. So there's these here, and I believe it's a 4mm Allen. So let's double check, make sure I'm right. and I'm right. So you're going to remove these here. These are not 4mm Allens though. Those are, let me find the, so these are 3mm Allens, and these will be placed on the back side here like this. And so you can see that's going to go through there and hold that holder in place. So I have those, these here, and then this here will be held in place by the speaker grill. So you're gonna have to remove your speakers, and we got to replace this wiring harness with the new wiring harness that has the extra pigtail for the saddlebag lid, speaker lid, sorry. All right, so those are out. Here's the harness. I'm gonna keep these just so I have them, but you're not gonna need these with the new wiring harness. Okay, so this is going to come with 3 separate wiring harnesses. This is the crossover harness. I'll show installing that in a little bit. This is the other side of the harness. And you can tell the difference between the 2 saddlebag harnesses because of this right here. This has the extra pigtail for the cigarette lighter or the power outlet. So you know, I believe it is the right side bag. This goes on the right side. Okay, so we're going to run these through the hole. Like that. And we're going to run this all the way down until we get to the rubber grommet. Okay, and now the rubber grommet, you're going to have to push it through to get it to basically seat. So I'm going to need both hands for that. Seat like that, just work it in there so it's sealed on both sides, which that looks pretty good to me. And yeah, sweet. All right, now we have to put our, you got to run it back through here as well. That way it goes in through right here. And then we got to put our holders back in place. Okay, so obviously I've already pre-wired this, but here is the pigtail for the speaker on this side, and I believe right here, yep, right here is the speaker for this side. So when we plug this in right here, obviously the short end's going to go to the closest bag, long end's going to go to the furthest away bag, and we're going to route that. Okay, basically how I routed this, oops, sorry, there's a little nub on the bow here you got to plug that into. It goes right there. So once you click this in place, it'll basically sit like that. Hold on a second, let me see if I can get it. Like that. Then you can just plug this in like that, and then bam, there you go. There's your that's how that's set up. Now this runs down under here and out to right here, and this is tucked pretty nice right there. This I just ran basically over and around, comes out through here, and of course that's where that ends up. Now obviously if you're doing this, unless you ran the lid wiring first, you're just going to have a plug sitting there until you plug it in. So that's what we're going to get into next, is actually removing the lids. Okay, first thing I'm doing on these lids, these 2 bolts here, they're 4mm Allens. I'm going to remove that and fold that over. And there's a bolt and a washer there, so you don't want to lose that. Okay, and now that folds over. And that gives you access to the hinge here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't remember if these are 4mm. Yes, they are 4mm. So you're going to remove these 4 bolts. Now, if you take the actual saddlebags off the bike, I don't see any point in removing these. It seems unnecessary to me. So, same thing with these two here. That's the hinge cover. Now, I don't know. You might need access to that. We're going to find out. But like I said, I don't think you'll need it. So just remove these four bolts here. Okay. Once those are removed, now we got to take the lock motor out because we got to switch that over to the new lid, and we also have to remove the wiring that's routed right here, which is not a big deal. There's one pigtail on this side that goes to the motor, and then obviously this one, and then on the other side there's an additional 2 pigtails for the cigarette lighter, which I will show you when I get over there. So these here I believe are 6mm. I take that back, they are 5mm. Okay, and then you just take these two bolts out right here. Okay. You're going to want to hold on to this bag while you're doing this because there's not much holding it on once you take the motor off, or I should say the wiring harness. Okay, something else you got to keep in mind, you got to hold the handle with your other hand while you're doing this, because if you don't, the handle could fall off underneath here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Right here. Okay, so the handle's off, and then we'll take this wiring out. Sorry, I think I messed up. This handle, that's what holds the handle in like that. And when it comes out, you don't want it to fall. So the only thing left is the key, or the actual key assembly. So that and the wiring harness is the only thing holding this on. So let's take the wiring out, and then I'll take the lid off. Okay, I just kind of set the harness down in there. The lid is off. Here it is. Now we got to switch everything over. Now, something I don't know 100% for certain is that when you get the new lids, I don't know if the seal is already on there or not, or if it just comes part of the lid kit and you have to put it on yourself, so just keep that in mind. These already had good seals on them, so I'm not worried about it. So the only thing we really got to do here, take the hinge cover off right here, and we got to take the key out, and there's a rubber O-ring right there. You got to take the rubber O-ring, and we got to switch all that over to the new lid. All right? Just let the key come out through the bottom there like that. Make sure you know the orientation when you go to put it back in. And then obviously you can take a pick or something and pull this O-ring out. It's really not that hard. Okay, we got the new lid here. I went ahead and pressed this back in. Like I said, it's really not that hard, guys. You just got to play with it a little bit. Super easy. And basically everything's going to go in the reverse of what we did before. The only thing I'm going to recommend is I think I'm going to go ahead and install the lid and then install the hinge cover. It seemed like it might be a little easier instead of getting it caught. So we're going to go ahead and switch over the I can't talk today, guys. The lock, the lock motor, and the wiring harness. So let's go over there and do that. Okay, guys, when we go to put this back on, remember, you got to hold the handle underneath here to line up with the holes, because if you don't, it's not going to line up, and you're going to have to redo the whole thing, because yeah, that's what holds the motor. That's what the motor bolts to, are these little inserts right here. So okay, guys, so after playing with this thing for a few minutes, here's what I'm going to recommend. Run the wiring first, okay? Run the wiring first and through here, because you're going to want to plug this in to the motor before you install the motor, because it's really tight to get to that little plug on the side. And then obviously you route the speaker wire through here, through this little thing right here. And guys, this is really easy. You just press it up underneath here. There's a little groove there. Just kind of run it, press it up there, be patient with it, and it'll come. Not a big deal. Let's get the motor in here now. Okay, now that that's back in, like I said, you got to play with this a little bit, guys. It's just getting the orientation right and getting those bolts back in. Like I said, make sure you plug that in first. It's a pain to get it in once it's already in. Okay, now I think we're going to go ahead and do the hinge, and then we'll do the cover, and then the hinge cover, and then I think we'll do the speaker. Okay, I recommend getting all these started before you tighten them up. Also, when you put these in, be careful with the seal. You don't want to get the seal locked in behind there by mistake. Just an FYI. It is humid as hell, guys. I'm telling you what. Damn. All right. Looks good to me. Hey, it's sitting on its own. Sweet. Now we'll grab the hinge cover. And we'll put the hinge cover on. Okay, guys, pretty easy. You just put that up in there and tighten her up. Like I said, 4 millimeters. That's the 4 millimeter Allen right there. And now we're good. And she's lined up good. And yeah, that looks pretty darn good to me. Next, I believe we deal with the speaker. Okay, guys, so here is the speaker. That's the connection for the speaker. And I believe we're just going to orientate this down in here to where the part of the... I'm going to go ahead and say there. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say right there. Oh, that looks so nice. Okay. Now we're going to need the bolts that hold it in. So I actually had to order the bolts from Polaris, or from Indian, I guess. It is Polaris bolt. This is the same bolts I think they hold the fairing on in the speaker there. But anyway, when I bought these used, it did not have the bolts, so I had to order these. These are 4 millimeter. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of these each side. So let's get that going. Once again, I just recommend getting all these basically good and started before you tighten them. And then we'll just give it a good turn. Oh, that's so good. It's going in like by hand so nicely. And then we'll just give it a good final crank on here. Pretty sure you want these to be tight, but you don't want to over tighten them, because I don't think there's a whole lot holding that bolt there. But you also want to make sure this seals so moisture don't get down in your bag. I'm going to say that's good. That looks good and sealed to me. Let's take a look inside the bag here. Oh man, you can definitely tell there's more weight on the bag now. Oh yeah, that's not bad at all. That's going to be a little bit, might have to play with that a little bit to get that up in there. Yeah, okay. Okay, I might have exaggerated a little bit. That was actually really easy. Just make sure you got enough wire to go in, and that plugs right in. Awesome. Okay, so now is the grill. Okay, so for the grill, this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts. That's what these are here. They look like that. A little bit more aggressive bolt. But I'm guessing what we're going to have to do is these go in from the inside. So we'll have to flip the lid. And while you're holding that in place, where, oh where? Oh, right here. I see them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alrighty, let's get it in there. That is a star bit. Okay, so these are T20s for Torx, and yeah, we're just gonna grind them in. Okay, let's make sure we get this on right. Okay, that one went in pretty easy. I don't know if you should stagger these or if it matters. You'll feel them start to eat into the grill though. There's a little rubber seal that surrounds those things, so I'm not sure if that plays into... Oh, right here, duh. Okay, so that's in. Let's get 2 more here. Okay, that one went in good. And then 1 more. Wow. Okay. Guys, those went in really easy. Holy crap. I'm blown away by that. And that is not... That's sealed. That's on there. Nice. Okay. For the last order of business, we're just going to fold this over. I messed up. That is the wrong bolt. And there she be, y'all. If we turn the bike on... One cool thing about these is the, like I said, they light up, as do these. That's going to look so cool at night. Nice. Oh, I'm super stoked. That's cool. That is cool. All right, guys, we're going to do the exact same thing for the other side now. All right, guys, so it's literally the exact same thing on this side. The only difference is you got these 2 additional pigtails here for the cigarette lighter. Okay, so you got to unplug those and whatnot, but everything else is basically the same. Okay, I'm gonna take these, sorry, can't focus, take the 2 bolts out for the motor, and let's get that going. All right, guys, so I got this all back together, like I said, literally just the same way as it went on. Now it's time for the other speaker, which I've got right now. All right, guys, there we be. Let's turn them on and make sure they're gonna flip on, and they do. Yes. Unfortunately, I'm not going to play any music because I don't want to get copyrighted on there. But, guys, I could definitely tell you, though, that these things are pretty cool. They're loud. I mean, a lot of guys say you can't really hear them at highway speeds. I disagree. They're not, like, insanely loud at highway speeds, but the power band up front kind of take care of that. So... I am very happy. I love how this looks. It looks so cool. Breaks up the color on the bags a little bit, making it just... And I love the backlighting. It kind of sets off the white of the bike now. Really cool. Alright, guys. So, like I said, everything's good to go. I've tested it. It works. I think they look really cool. Really not that bad of an install. All things considered, the install is... pretty simple. It just, you got to be a little patient with it, basically. But yeah, I am happy with it. Like I said, I don't think it takes up an insane amount of room inside the bag, so I'm happy about that. I really don't know what else to say about it, guys. Like I said, I'm really happy about it, and it really loud. Yeah, really loud. So I don't think hearing this is going to be difficult. I can say even with just the power band speakers in the fairing, uh, much louder than the stock system. I know that there are the custom systems guys can do, like, oh, don't get Indians. It's so, you can get a better system for. I'm sure you can. It's going to be expensive any way you do it. I just prefer to do it this way. That way, it was all done Indian, and I didn't have to worry about it. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not upset with the result. This is absolutely awesome. And the bass boost, it is so cool to have a motorcycle that has a little bit of bass in it. I mean, it's not going to be like thumping, yeah, like on a car stereo. It's just not going to do that. But as far as like a motorcycle's audio system goes, I think this is great. However, I will say, guys, it is a very expensive mod. You figure you're going to have, just between the power band speakers and the fairing and the power band speakers and the saddlebag lids, I mean, you're talking $1,600 worth of speakers, just in speakers. The grills are $300 and some odd dollars just for the grills. The lids themselves, I think, are $500 or $600. The wiring kit's $130. So you're gonna have money in this. Like, I mean, you're gonna have $2,500 just in the parts. And if you have somebody else do it, I mean, you're talking labor. So you're going to have some money in this if you do it. Now, fortunately for me, I don't have anywhere near that much. I got very, very lucky. I was able to source a set of speakers from somebody who bought them, didn't want them, and just wanted to get rid of them. The only thing I basically paid full price for were the saddlebag lid speakers, and that was more so because you could find them used. You can find some of the old style used. This is the Gen 2s that has the light up backing on the speakers, and a lot of people are going to be like, well, that's stupid, I don't care about that. Well, I wanted it to match my front speakers, so that's why I did it. But I'm just saying, I was able to find a used set of lids, which is not going to be an option for everybody. You're going to want to get them painted directly from Indian, but for me, they were going to have to be painted anyway to match the custom paint job on the bike, so it worked. So, like I said, guys, happy with it. You have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever, leave comments down below. I try to get back to everybody in the comments I can. Got a few other little things I'm working on video-wise, so stay tuned. If you haven't already, please subscribe. The channel's growing, guys. I appreciate it. Keep liking, keep subbing, keep sharing these videos with people, and keep building the channel, guys. Like I said, I appreciate every one of you. You're awesome. And until next video,